In this and the following videos, we will be sharing a revelation that a brother in Christ received, which is in part a confirmation of what we have received about the transfer of the church. He explains it clearly in a series of videos and discusses how he concluded that the rapture will occur on September 17 to 18 this year. His analysis is fascinating, and everything he receives is confirmed by other brothers in different parts of the world. The Lord reveals the same date in dreams, visions, and audible words to you. I remember a video that Brother Michael made where he talks about the 3 days of darkness that are related to this event. Still, many of our prayer group people also believe that there would be a war before the rapture, and then at another time, they received September, the full moon, and the Feast of Trumpets. This concept is related in part to what this brother is saying. Brother Christian believes this will occur in the middle of the 7 years, September 17 and 18, 2024. Therefore, we thought it would be interesting to share this knowledge from Brother Christian Tempone because it is in the Bible, and many are preparing for the days of September. Christian's channel is called Chosen 1718. There are many rapture videos on YouTube, but I've never heard anything like Brother Christian Explains. I hope these video compilations are a blessing and help raise your faith and prepare for this event. Will the church pass through the great tribulation or hour of trial? In this small graph from left to right, we observe some chapters marked with verses in red, a line in the center in white, and then a period appearing in blue. The question remains whether the church enters or goes through that period or not. Without going any further, let's read Matthew 24, chapter 24, verse 21. It says like this: "For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will be." Here, Jesus mentions the words tribulation and great tribulation, which we see highlighted in blue. In its original form, it appears as a great affliction, indicating a period of intense suffering and genuine terror for the people. To support this, we turn to Luke, who presents the same story but from a different perspective. Luke 21, verse 36 tells us, "Be vigilant at all times, praying that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things that will come, and to stand before the Son of Man." Here lies a promise of escape, as we are to flee from precisely everything mentioned by Jesus Christ, all the atrocities that are going to come to earth. That is why we see the promise of an escape in Luke 21, verses 33 to 36, highlighted in yellow. But what exactly is this escape from? This entire period of testing, known as the Great Tribulation, is what we find in our Bibles. Moreover, the Great Tribulation is further confirmed by another Bible verse that reassures us that the church will not pass through this period. We find it in Revelation 3, verse 10. "Because you have kept the word of my patience, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is coming upon the whole world to test those who dwell on it." When we delve into the Greek translation of the Bible, we find significant details that are sometimes lost in translation. For instance, the phrase, "I will keep you from the hour of trial" in Revelation 3:10 in Greek, reads as, "I will keep you out of the hour of testing." That little word out, spelled E-K, is crucial. It signifies not merely protection from the trial, but a complete separation from the time of testing. This is essential because if we were on earth during this period, it would be our turn to endure that hour. Today, thanks to resources like the Interlinear Bible available on the internet, Bible college students and scholars alike can access these nuances directly. In translations, the original Greek often needs to be adapted for clarity in other languages. This adaptation sometimes obscures small yet vital details, like the word "out," which tells us unequivocally that we are not going to enter the hour of testing. Thus, with the promise of Revelation 3:10 and the escape offered in Luke 21:36, we are assured that we will not go through that hour that is coming for the entire earth. And where are we going to appear? Only time will tell. We are talking about the rapture, which is typical for us. I'm speaking to the Bible students and hearing about the rapture truth. The rapture is precisely the act where God, Jesus, us, He's going to take us out of the earth. He's going to keep us, according to Psalm 27:5, which says that He will keep us in the tabernacle and says that we will be joyful, that is celebration. That is why the promise and the escape prevent the church from going through the great tribulation. Many say, yes, but well, it will save us in some way, but we will be here on earth. I return and repeat, you have not considered where Psalm 27 and the last verse are essential when, which is Revelation 7:14. I want to add before reading this verse that many brothers are confused with this passage because two later verses in 16 it says that they will no longer hunger or thirst, and the heat of the sun will no longer fall on them. And it is precisely why they say that it cannot be the group of the rapture, but we, or rather the Bible, will interpret itself to show that this group, this incredible group, is that of the rapture. I want to read the text in its original Greek. And chapter 7 of Revelation verse 14 says like this, these are the ones coming out of affliction, the great one. Here the two words come together, promise and escape. Right, Matthew 24:21 says the great affliction, which appears translated as the great tribulation, right? That's why the lousy translation says they have come out of the great tribulation. Still, the word seems outside. You can see it in your original. Then outside of the affliction, the great one is that they enter. We do not enter into affliction the great. These people who appear here in this vision that is shown to Juan in the Apocalypse, they are precisely the people who did not enter that trial period, this trial period in blue. And how do we know 100% who these people are, that this is the result of the rapture? In case it were evident to us with these words true, it is interesting to see the words out and great affliction together. In this promise and this escape, as we have seen in this graph, it says something like this in the translation that you can see in the Reina Valera version, great tribulation, and these have come out of the great tribulation. I invite you to do so. Read everything, because it is a question that an older man asks, and John asked Jesus Christ. That man who is there is Jesus Christ. Lord, you know, the one who speaks is Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ tells him, in other words, it should appear here in the Greek, it is that a translation as they are those who did not enter the great tribulation, because the word outside appears ek in Greek, which means outside. So sense and logic tells us that these are the ones who did not enter at that time. This is why the famous rapture is so well known, now you may wonder. But why is this man saying we will not go through a test when the other two verses of Revelation 14, one say, and we will read it. Could you wait a minute? I'm searching. Revelation 7:16 says like this, they will no longer hunger or thirst, and the sun will no longer fall on them, nor any heat. What does this mean? They will no longer hunger or thirst, and the sun will no longer fall on them or any heat. That is, they have experienced a true calamity here, which is why many say that this is not the group of the rapture. However, we will see that this passage does not talk of hunger or thirst as a natural suffering of the body. Let us read John chapter 6, verse 35, and remember before mentioning this chapter and this verse that the Bible is not a private interpretation. The Bible interprets itself the same, accurately, and it says like this, John 6:35. Jesus said to him, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never hunger, and he who believes in me will never thirst. Brothers, here we have the interpretation of Revelation 7:16. It is not a private interpretation of me or anyone else, but what the Lord showed me in the Bible. These did not suffer, but by being with Christ, when they came to be with Christ, we will never thirst and hunger again. Now we continue to hunger and thirst for Christ on this earth. We need to feed ourselves daily, right? But this verse clarifies that this interpretation is correct. And what happens with the other part, where it says that the sun will no longer fall on them, nor any heat? This is simply that once we are removed from this earth, the sun will no longer be above us, nor will we endure the earth's heat. Why? He also says it. Revelation, when it says that once we are with Jesus Christ, He is the light. The moon and the sun will no longer exist for us, not even in the millennium, according to Zechariah 14, which says that the day Christ sets foot on the earth in its second earthly coming, there we go with him. He says that that day and the night, there will be no natural light, because the sun and the moon, according to Matthew 24, verse 29, says that the sun and the moon will not give their light. Therefore there we have the second coming to earth of Christ with us, after being in his dwelling in the tabernacle, according to Psalm 27, as we saw. And this is the interpretation given to the second part of this verse, which would be that the sun will no longer fall on us, nor any heat. Brothers and friends, this revelation that is made to us here in the Bible is nigh more nor less than the rapture of the church, where we see that they are not dead but have arrived. When the Bible wants to be clear, it is clear, does not confuse it with Revelation 6 from 9 to 12, because there they are coming according to the hour of death. It says that they were given white garments, and they spend a little more time until the number of their fellow servants is complete. That is to say, they do not arrive altogether, but arrive according to the hour of their death, because it clearly says that they have to be killed just like you or you. This is a very different panorama from Revelation 7 and 14, where we can see that there is no talk of death or suffering, but there is talk of rescue, right? We can also say that the apocalypse is not all chronological. That is why we have the image inside the seals, such as chapter 6, and precisely the other image that each image begins when John says, I saw we there. At the beginning of Revelation 7, we have a change of image. Therefore, not all of Revelation is chronological. Very good. We've reached the end of this study, and I hope this study has blessed you. Please like and bless others sharing this video, and subscribe to our channel so you do not lose any of this video compilation about the transfer of the church.